Welcome to Knit 1 Heart 2, episode 140. My name is Wendy, also known as Penny, and as you can see, I'm alone this week. Sheila, also known as Sheila D37, and I had planned to record on Friday, which was yesterday, but due to Hercules, the giant snowstorm that hit New England, she wasn't able to make it to my house, and we couldn't scramble together another time to record, so you get me alone this week. I didn't even bring Jean-Luc Picard. I'm not really sure where he went after the holiday, but it's just me. So if this is your first time coming to watch the show, then normally I have my friend Sheila with me. And if you are a repeat viewer, sorry that Sheila's not here, but I'll do the best that I can without her. So I'm trying to think about shout-outs. We had a pattern code going until January 1st. I hope some people availed themselves of that. We have the Selfish Knit-Along, which ended. I'm going to lock that thread today, but I am not going to draw a prize for it until Sheila's here because I need to discuss with her what we're giving away for that. So the new thread is going to be a stash down. You can record how much, well, every finished project that you knit that's from stash, and by from stash it has to be, let's say, in your stash at least 6 months. So something that you use that you already had, not something that you bought for a project. So we'll set up the rules for that and put it in the group. And I'm also going to be telling you at the end of the show about a few things that are coming up, some contests that we're having, and some fun ideas that I've had for the next year, and some book reviews that are coming up, so that'll be really fun. But yeah, we will be drawing for the Spunky Eclectic ebook patterns today, that I'm doing at the end of the show, but the knit along, crochet along, that is going to wait. So let's see. So that's all I have at the top of the show. I guess I'll jump right in with what's on the needles, what's on the dance card. So really the only thing that's actively on the dance card this week is my Brickless by Martina Bem. I'll try to hold it up so you can see it better. The lighting's horrible because I'm recording in the evening. Due to a number of circumstances. But this is knit in Malabrigo sock in the Solus colorway. Oh, and there's a piece of Kleenex attached to it. And the Martina Bem pattern Brickless was designed for worsted weight yarn, but I am trying to get rid of some sock yarn that I have in the stash, and I actually have 2 skeins of this. And you can see I've done about 6 repeats of the pattern, and it's pretty long. This is like, ooh, it's like a tentacle. So I already have this much. I'm just going to kind of keep knitting it until I feel like it's big enough. Right now, if you block it, the point's about to here. So that's pretty big. But I kind of want it to be a little bit bigger, so I might as well keep going. It's a really enjoyable pattern to knit. It's basically got 3 sections. There's a diagonal lace section, a ribbed section, and a garter section. And then you do these random points. They're different lengths. It's hard to see them because they're kind of curled up right now. So, I mean, occasionally I have to look to remind myself how many stitches to bind off when I get done with a section, but, oh, excuse me, it's a pretty mindless pattern. I'm also not using the recommended needle size, obviously, because I went down on the yarn weight. I am using 3.5 US 4 needles. So, it's coming along really well, though. I like it. And it's a grab-and-go project. I can pretty much take it anywhere, and this is how much I have left of the first skein, so not too much left. And then I have another entire skein that I haven't even cracked into yet. So that's going along great. Thumbs up. I'm really excited. There are a few people on Instagram and a couple of my friends who are knitting this at the same time. So that's been really fun. So if you're knitting about it, you know, or cast it on and use it to knit down from some stash, and that'll be pretty good. So that's all that's actively on the needles. I do have some secret knitting on the needles, but I can't really show it to you until next week. So I'll show that when I can. So that's basically it. Kind of a boring rate your date. But I have kind of an exciting rate your date. That's not what it's called. Too bad Sheila's not here to help me. On the dance card. Kind of a boring on the dance card. Now we're going to move on to rate your date. I have 2 dates to rate. So if you have been watching, you know that I have been working on my first pair of thrummed mittens, and I finished them. This was a kit that included Just fibers and a Kira Knits mitten pattern. So I worked on that this week and got them finished up just in time for the scary sub-zero temperatures we're having. These are perfect for being outdoors in the cold. The thrums, you can see, are like little stitches or bumps on the mitten. And then if you turn the mitten inside out, you can see all of the wool that's inside. Also something that would be really good to test your furniture with. Can't really see the good color. Anyway, the yarn for the mitten outside was Malabrigo. And the fiber is, I think it's a superwash merino. I can't remember. There are details on my project page. This was actually a kit that I bought, for those of you who haven't seen this before. This is a kit that I bought either 2 or 3 years ago during the North Shore Yarn Crawl at Loom with a View. And so it came with everything that I needed to make these. And they were actually pretty easy to make. I think that the second mitten went better because I was a little faster with it. I would do this again. I think I might make some for my kids. These are just, I'm mostly going to use these when I'm standing in the cold waiting for my son to come out of school, because we don't have busing where I live. It's all neighborhood schools, so he walks to and from school every day, or sometimes I pick him up. And when it's really cold, just standing there, these are going to be perfect for keeping my hands warm. I do have some fingering weight mittens that I really love that I knit last year. They have seahorses on them. They're gorgeous. But they are only really, those are like a good lightweight glove if I'm going to be actively going around and driving and everything. These are really more for like that deep cold where you're just going to be sitting there. There's no way your hands could get cold in these mittens. I think my cat's throwing up. Nice. All right, so that's first date that I'm going to rate. That was really easy. It's a very simple knitting pattern. I did make all of my thrums ahead of time, and I kept them in a plastic bag just because I was doing them a few at a time, but it really broke up the knitting, and I found it was faster to go directly. I used size 8 needles on this, and I did them with magic loop, so I didn't use multiple needles to knit any part of this because I don't like fiddling with them. But the instructions do tell you how to do it with multiple double points if that's your thing, so you can do that. So I would give it 2 thumbs up, and I will probably use that pattern again to make some mittens like that for my kids. The second date that I'm rating, I'm so excited about. If you've watched the show at all, you know that I started knitting a blanket, or crocheting, I guess, a sock blanket from scrap sock yarn. And I got a significant piece. It's about this big, but it takes a long time to make each of the little hexagons that I was doing. And this summer, I got a Zoom Loom, a shocked Zoom Loom. It's just a little pin loom. I got it from spunkyeclectic.com. I ordered it online. And I made a bunch of squares to make a lapgan, and I finally finished it, and I'm so excited about it. So you can see what I did, for those of you who are interested in making one, is I took scrap yarn from my my giant bag of scrap yarn. And I have a lot because I have a lot of scrap yarn, and a viewer a couple of years ago sent me like maybe 10 pounds of scrap sock yarn, so I have a lot. And I made all these squares. I made 90 squares to be exact for this blanket. You can see, here's the rest of it. And I did it by doubling the yarn. It takes me about 9.5 yards to go do a Zoom loom, so I doubled it. I would measure out 9 yards using my like from my nose to my full arm length as a yard, and then I would double it onto a needle, so probably 18 yards doubled, I guess. And then I made all these squares. Oh, and here's my cat Maggie. Come on, not right now. Ow! Ow. She's the crazy one. Go away. Go away. She bites because she's crazy. And then I crocheted them together with Knit Picks Wool of the Andes in a sport weight, I believe it is. It's a charcoal gray. And so the way that I did that was I crocheted a single crochet around each square. And then I crocheted them all together using a single crochet stitch. And you can see this is the what I would call the front side, but it looks nice as well on the back. And then I crocheted a single crochet edge all the way around the edge of the blanket. And then I found an edging pattern that I liked, which has a strip of, it's like a bar strip with holes in it, and then it's topped with some scallops. I thought that looked really nice and simple. And yeah, it's about, well, you can't really tell how big it is. It's pretty big. It's 9 squares wide by 10 squares long. I was going to make it 9 by 11, but I kind of ran out of gas on the squares after a while, and I really wanted to get it done. And with the crocheting and the edge and everything, it ends up to be the perfect lap gown size, so I can cover my legs and feet if I want to, or cover, if I'm sitting cross-legged, I can cover from here over my legs, so it's nice. And then I finished it because I didn't really want to wet block it. I was a little worried about it. Oh, I see the cats have already pulled up a few stitches on this. Nice. I didn't want to wet block it, so what I did was I steam blocked it. I took a 100% cotton handkerchief and put my iron setting on the highest one, which I think is cotton and linen, so that it would have the steam function. And then I laid the cotton handkerchief over the section that I was working on to steam and steamed through the cotton. And that way it didn't melt or burn anything of the fibers. I was a little worried because some of these have nylon in them and I didn't want there to be direct contact between the iron and the fiber. And it made for a really nice, smooth, flat finish. So yeah, I'm pretty pleased with it. And I would definitely make one again. I think it's really pretty. Oh, the other thing that I did, in case you're interested in knowing, is after I had made all my squares, I organized them by color. So I made a pile of all the ones that were basically red and then pink. You know, I did red, pink, orange, yellow, green, turquoise, blue, dark blue, and purple. Those are the color sets that I did. And then I took each group of colors and I organized them from lightest to darkest. I laid them all out on the table and I kind of put them in the order. And then I built my quilt by doing diagonals. So I started here, and then I went from here to here, and then I went here, 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 and I built it diagonally. So you can see as it goes from one corner, it's red, to the opposite corner, it's dark, purples. So that was kind of fun, and it came out fabulous. I couldn't be happier. I'm already planning on making a second one. You know, just it's a great break from spinning and knitting. It's just a little something different to do. And I can bang out like 10 squares while watching a movie easily. And it's something that you can do easily while watching a movie, which I like. So I'm just going to build up another one. This time I'm going to shoot for 120 to 130 squares and make it in less of an afghan and more of like a throw size that could cover you from neck to the bottom of your feet. It will still be probably the same width, but just longer. But this one is perfect for me when I'm sitting and knitting on the couch, and I love it. So, and the charcoal gray almost perfectly matches my couches. And the other thing I like about this too is some of this is donated scrap yarn, but some of this is from projects that I made, and I'll tell you a few little stories about them. This yellow crochet, this yellow square, was yarn that my son asked for when he was 3 because he wanted my mom to knit him a pair of yellow socks. And this yarn is candy cane striped yarn that I bought at a festival one year and made Christmas socks with. And my personal favorite square is this one, this blue and charcoal one. It's the softest one. It's silk and cashmere. I think it's 80% cashmere. It's Tess Yarn's Kitten. And I bought it when I was shopping with friends at Rhinebeck this year. And I did a knit along with one of those friends with the exact same yarn. And it's so soft. I love having this square there. It reminds me of those friends in that day. And it's just a nice memory to have. I used hand spun. This is Into the World in a one of the Into the World semi-solids, and an Enchanted Knoll Farm sparkly bat in the Jonquil colorway. I think it was Johnny Jump Up that I got when I went to Abby Frankemont's spinning class from my friend Josette, who is the dyer behind Enchanted Knoll. So that has some fun memories for me. And I just, as I look at them, this I had hand dyed myself and the dye broke and made this pale blue and pink yarn that was not what I was planning, but I like. And where's the other one that's kind of funny? This, where is it? It's kind of an odd color. Maybe I'm not going to be able to find it right now. But there's another one that was the first pair of socks that I ever, first pair of, what do you call it? Fingering weight socks, here it is, that I ever knit. That came out horrible because this is an alpaca, fuzzy alpaca yarn, and it was a cookie A sock that needed a lot of stitch definition, and then I accidentally washed them in the laundry and they got felted. Anyway, it has a lot of memories in it, and if you are thinking of getting a Zoom Loom, this is one of the cool things that you can do with it. You could make a shawl like this. I think it would be kind of fun to make a triangle-shaped one and make a shawl. But I love the blanket idea for it. Another nice thing would be to do one for your kids that are going away to college. But anyway, thank you for Spunky Eclectic for having one when I couldn't find one anywhere else. And yeah, check it out if you haven't already. It's a lot of fun, and I just really enjoy doing it. So those are my 2 dates to rate, and I'm definitely giving 2 thumbs up to the Zoom Loom. Oh, the cat just moved the camera. Please don't do that. And come on, get away. Get away. And what else was I going to say about that? Oh, I used the Wool of the Andes sports weight to do the edging and to crochet everything together. I bought a bag of 10. I think they're like $3.99 a piece. It was not very expensive, and I used almost all of 7 of those. So it takes about 7 balls of yarn to do this. Your mileage may vary. So that's it for dates to rate. Oh, and I forgot to do future dates. So I'm sticking it in now, and I will reorganize it in the right section later. So future dates. I have 2 future dates that I queued up. The first one is the Fuse Cardigan by Veronique Avery. It is kind of cool. So that's how it looks when you have it buttoned up. It kind of like wraps across. It's kind of like this. It wraps across the body. She has a picture of what it looks like. You can also wear it unwrapped so that it looks like this. And I think it has buttons that attach that hold it in place when you're wearing it. I was kindly gifted this by a viewer, and I love it. And I have a bunch of Reynolds worsted weight in bright red in my stash, so I think that's what I'm going to use. I've had that. I bought that at a sale 2 years ago, so that sweater is going to be the next big project that I put on the needles. Probably by next week I'll have that cast on, so that's number 1. And number 2, my friend Lois, proprietor of knitting is my bag, sent me something for my niece called Little Sweetheart Hat Knitting Pattern. And this is what it looks like. And that is the perfect Valentine's Day hat for my niece. If you haven't been watching for a while, I knit holiday hats for my baby niece. I knit her a pumpkin hat for Halloween. I knit a turkey Viking hat for Thanksgiving. I knit a little Christmas tree hat for Christmas, and I knit an Easter bunny ear hat for Easter, but I did not knit her a Valentine's Day hat, so my friend Lois sent me that pattern, and I'm probably going to cast that on this week too. It's a quick project. The other thing that I didn't really pull out a pattern for, but I am planning on making is my niece has no hair. She's pretty bald, and my sister-in-law said she was trying to make some headbands for her, so I thought I would whip up a couple of those in my spare time, should I have any spare time. So, yeah, those are going to be done too. The sweater definitely is going to be out of the Reynolds yarn. The hat is going to be out of whatever red or pink scrap yarn I have in worsted weight. I'm just going to have to look at my stash. I know I have some. And the headband, likewise, is probably going to be out of my acrylic stash just because I think that'll be better for baby wear. Soft and washable, which is kind of the thing to look for with my niece is very drooly and spit-uppy, as babies tend to be. So those are my dates. I do have a Whirlwind Romance this week. If you've watched in the last year, because it's been a while, I was doing a spinning project. I happened to have three 4-ounce bumps of a colorway from Into the World, one of the Into the World clubs. And I have no idea what color that is now because I didn't bring the tag over with me. But it was one of her club colorways. And I had been talking with my friend Diane in Oz, who I talk about all the time. But I see her pretty frequently. We live close by. And I was talking to her about these bumps. And we've always talked about doing a project where you would really get to see the difference that certain spinning choices that you make have. And so since I had 3 bumps of exactly the same colorway, I decided to do an experiment where I would do one that was fractal plied. That's this one. And I would do one that was spun, divided in half and spun from, boy, I really wish you could get a better color sample on this. It's coming out awful. Well, I'll have to show it to you next week when I have better lighting. This one was split in half and plied together from the same ends so that the colors tended to run together. And I finally spun for the last one, which is dividing in 2 and spinning from the opposite ends. This is 2 ounces that I spun at my annual Guild Christmas party, and this is almost 2 ounces spun from the other end. This is what I have left to spin, so not very much. And then I'm going to be able to use my new travel Kate that I got from Rhinebeck. I'm very excited to use it to ply those together, and then I'll have 3 skeins, all the same colorway, but all spun differently. And I think what I'd like to do is put them all together into a trillion so that you can see from one end to the next how they work up differently, but they're all related. So I'm kind of excited to see how this project comes out. And I'm really happy that I did finally get some spinning in. And one of my fiber resolutions of this year is to spin more than I have been. So that's my Whirlwind Romance. Let's see. Think Crushes and Heartbreaks. Well, obviously my big heartbreak is that Sheila couldn't record with me this week, but there was just no way. She worked the night that we had the blizzard conditions, and when she got out of work, there was just no way the roads were going to be clear enough for her to drive all the way over here and then drive to her house. It just wasn't worth it safety-wise for her. I told her to just drive straight home. So it's a heartbreak that we're not together. I have something for her for Christmas that I was going to give her today. But I'll see her next week for a recording, and we'll do it then. My crush is that we had a great Christmas. My parents were here, and that was really fun. My kids loved the surprise that we got for them. They had asked for something from Santa, but we surprised them with an Xbox 360 that they weren't expecting. So, and the whole family has really been having fun with that. We put it in the living room upstairs, not down in the playroom. So we've all been playing games on that together and having a good time with that. So that was a crush. I spent Christmas Day and New Year's Eve with my baby niece. So that was a crush, of course. We had a great time playing with her and having fun with her and the family. And Sheila and I did our annual New Year's Day dim sum. Her family and my family get together at a dim sum restaurant that we like and celebrate. We've done it. I think this is the 3rd year in a row that we've done it. So that was a crush. I love doing that. And I'm just happy that it's 2014. I think 2013 was a really crummy year for my family and for the families of a lot of people that I know. I don't know if it's just a coincidence, but 2013, bad. In with 2014, the year that's going to be more positive. That's what I'm hoping. So I have fiber and knitting resolutions for this upcoming year, and then I have personal resolutions for this upcoming year, and maybe we'll do a section to share those next week. I did share a thing on my Instagram account with my personal resolutions, and I'm really going to try hard to stick to them and make 2014 be the best that it can and be. And I already feel like it's a better year. I had a horrible cold right before Christmas. It has cleared up. I feel much better now. And I've been very productive with my knitting and spinning in the last 2 weeks. So 2 thumbs up. 2 thumbs up for 2014. Baubles and Bling. I got a lot of stuff for Christmas. But I'm only going to show you the things that are vaguely fiber related. And the first one is, Sheila and I showed you this when we went to, I think it was the Connecticut Sheep and Wool this spring. We stopped at a little booth called Going Gnome. GOING, GNOME, goinggnome.com. And my mom knew how much I like gnomes and how much I like that store. And she went there at the New England Fiber Festival and bought me this little gnome. And I think he is so cute. He's kind of Christmassy, but I'm going to leave him out year-round because I think he's adorable. He is felted, all entirely felted. I think that was the place where I got a little felted ladybug ring, and Sheila got something too. And I can't remember what it was. I think she got a mushroom necklace. But yeah, that's really cute. So if you like gnomes and little hand felted things, she does a lot of really gorgeous stuff. Check out goinggnome.com. So that's that right there. And the other big thing is, I've mentioned this on the show before, but we draw names. My husband has 4 brothers and sisters, plus their spouses, plus his parents. It's a lot of people to buy for. Plus we have 4 nieces and nephews. So the whole family agreed a couple of years ago to all the adults would draw one name, and so each adult buys just for one other adult. And you can put a list of what you want, and we tend to spend about $100 on each other. So every year I've been asking for signature needles, and this year was a bumper year. I got a pair of size 9s from my lovely sister-in-law, who was my secret Santa. My sister-in-law, the one who just had the niece that I take time with, and I got a set of size 10s, which is awesome. Those were what I asked for. I asked for 2 pair. And so now I have every size from size 3 to size 10. So that's really awesome. But there was a weird shipping mix-up where they somehow sent her only a pair of size 10 socks. And so I have this random extra pair of size 10 socks. And I think what I'm going to do is contact Signature and see if I can't ship these back to them and exchange them for a different size stock, and then buy another pair of cords. And I'm thinking I might either get another pair of 6s or another pair of 8s, because those are the two that I use the most often. But yeah, signature needles. That was like one of my favorite presents. Thank you so much from my sister-in-law and who was my Secret Santa. I had my mother-in-law as a Secret Santa, and I got her everything on her list. And let me tell you, we just really enjoy doing it that way. We get to give one person something that they really want, and my husband gets to give one person. So instead of buying, I think we worked it out to be 14 gifts, we only buy 2. And we buy them something that we know that they really, really want, because we have an online site where we do our wish list and everything. It's kind of awesome. And everybody still buys presents for the children, because they're the ones that really care about opening all the presents. I would rather just get one really nice present like this. And it's worked out great, and that's how I've amassed a significant portion of my signature needle collection, that and through a generous gift from one of my tech editing clients. So, yeah, those are my 2 main Baubles and Bling. Oh, I have one other thing. Excuse me for a second. I forgot to show it last week. I got the November 2013 club, and this is the colorway Tiny Flicker. And this is not going to do justice to it at all because the lighting is so poor. But it's got sort of a caramel color and an orange and a dark russet. And it's beautiful. I love it. Like all of the Hello Yarn colorways so far, I've found it to be really beautiful. And it is Polworth. So I'm really enjoying being in this club. I'm really lucky that I can be in it. It's not easy. I think my friend that I'm sharing the club with waited 3 years to get on the club list. So it's been good. I like everything that I've gotten so far. And I meant to show it last week, but I totally forgot about it, so I'm glad I remembered it this time. So that's it for fiber-related Baubles and Bling. Put my stuff away. And let's see. Gossip and innuendo. Well, the big thing in gossip and innuendo is to draw names for the people who entered the Spunky Eclectic contest. So I'm just going to go on to that. And there were 73 posts, so I'm going to use my random number generator. If I can find it, there we go. And I'm going to put in the maximum number is 73, and this is the number, 13. So let's see, post number 13. The first winner is going to be Sabrab, S-A-B-R-A-B, who is Sabrina. I don't know where she's from. And she said she would knit Diamonds for Jess in the Panda Sock colorway Hi Ho Silver. Yay! So, Sabrab, I'm going to be sending you your name to Amy, who is Spunky Eclectic. And you win one of her patterns. So let's draw another one. I'm going to generate a second number. And that number is 65. Let's see who number 65 is. I'm imagining that will be on the last page. 65 is Pit Knitter. She would do Terraced in the DK Rainforest colorway. Pit Knitter. And Pit Knitter is also known as Deborah from Canada. So Deborah, Pit Knitter, and Sabrina, Sabrab, you are going to have your names sent to Amy from Spunky Eclectic, and she is going to send you your patterns. Congratulations. And I loved all of the posts in here and the colorways that people were going to use, and I hope some people learned about Amy's shop who didn't know about it before. I'm a big fan of Spunky Eclectic. I have a lot of her fiber, and I've been buying her stuff. Well, I got my first spinning wheel from her, and I got my Zoom Loom from her, and she is a friend of mine through going to the festivals, and as I mentioned before, now she is a tech editing client of mine. So, yeah, if you got some money for Christmas and you want to spend it, you could spend it there. I'll just do a little enabling section. You should also really check out Enchanted Knoll Farms. She's been showing, if you follow her on Instagram, she's been showing some of the bats and yarn she's been putting up in her shop, but they look pretty nice. So check her out too, because I know she's been updating a lot lately. And let's see, what else do we have? Oh, I was going to talk a little bit about the stash down. So instead of having a traditional knit-along for 2 months this year, Sheila and I decided that every month we're going to have people post what they used, how much yarn they use, what they knit, and out of their stash, which is yarn that is older than 6 months. And we'll draw a prize at the end of every month for that. So that's going to be our regular thing, and that's because Sheila and I both have made a commitment to try to get some of our stash down. Hence the fact that I used this 3-year-old kit to knit this, and Brickless is being knit out of 2-year-old skeins of sock yarn, and this is being knit out of stash that I've had since the beginning of time. So I think it's a good idea for 2014 for those of us who have excessive stash, and I admit to being one of those people, to use the stash down. But this is my other plan that I want to talk about. I have 2 friends who also happen to be dyers, and I am going to do something with them which would be a separate thing, a spin-along and or knit-along with these dyers to, use their stuff specifically and to do stash enhancement for those of you who do not have an excessive stash or who are not in a stash down diet this year. So as I get those plans solidified and organized, you'll be hearing more about that. And so that's something fun that we're going to do. We haven't really done anything like that before, so I thought it would be fun to try it out. And I happen to have a few friends whose products I think everyone should try at least once. So those are the people that I'm going to work with. And then we got some amazing books from Cooperative Press that we are going to be reviewing. And I'm going to tell you what they are. We'll be starting with those reviews next week. And whoops, just pressed the wrong button. I'm going to tell you what we got. I might have said it last week, but we got Dishcloth Diva Knits On, which is a book that has dishcloth patterns. That's amazing. We got a children's book called Hank and Gracie Save the Day, which is the cutest thing you've ever seen, that also incorporates some knitting patterns. We got Doomsday Knits, which was curated by Alex Tinsley, the designer, and they are projects with what I'd call a post-apocalyptic flair. They're very sort of edgy and modern. And then we got Subversive Socks, it's the cutest collection, if you don't mind swear words and a little bit of, purple language or content. It's that kind of knitting that I think it would really appeal to some people. Other people, not so much. I think it's kind of a taste thing, but they have some really cute ideas, and there are some things I think you could adapt. If you didn't really want socks with a swear word on them, you could use the design to write something less offensive. But we're going to be doing those book reviews over the next few weeks. I just have to have a planning session with Sheila so we can map out when they're going to be, and Cooperative Press has kindly offered to do a drawing for each of those books. So everybody will have a chance to win an electronic copy of all of those books, which is awesome. And if you're a parent, Hank and Gracie, it's the cutest thing ever. You have to see it, so that's a good one. Or if you're a grandparent who has kids, it would be perfect for kids too. So that's what we got going on for there. I didn't make it to the post office box. I know a couple people were going to send things, and I just want to let you know that because of the storm, I didn't get to the post office this week. I guess having lived in New England for a while, it didn't really occur to me that it literally would be a nightmare to drive on Thursday and Friday of this week. So I was kind of surprised when it actually was, and I didn't make it to the post office. But I will try. I won't try. I will go to the post office next week and take care of that. So that's, I think, pretty much it. I know the only fiber event that's coming up is Spa in Freeport, Maine, and my understanding, I thought it was going to be at the end of January, but I think it's in early February. So that's coming up. So I think that's it. I can't think of anything else right now. Let's see. I hope everybody had a great holiday. I hope everybody who was in the giant Hercules storm is safe and warm in their house and nobody is freezing from and having burst pipes, which is something we were worried about. It got very cold here. And I know there's some kind of a cold phenomenon thing that's going on. So wherever you are, I hope you're warm and dry and in your house and having a lovely time with your family and not out getting stuck in the snow. Just another service announcement, public service announcement. I want to remind everybody who is 40 or older that you should get a mammogram this year if you haven't already had one. You need to get one. Just do it. It takes literally 10 minutes out of your life, and, you know, they could find something that saves your life. And, you know, they've gotten really good at doing it. It's not as bad as it used to be when I started getting them when I was 25. So do it for me. Get a mammogram and be proactive with your health. That's my message for 2014. So have a great week. We will see you next week, and hopefully I'll have Sheila with me, and we'll do our Christmas gift exchange. I can't wait for her to see what I got for her. So knit with heart, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.